Arcade by Israel Centeno. Chapter 1 The Leap. The ranchera leaks from busted Renaissance speakers. A loop nobody dares kill because stopping it would mean admitting we're never coming back. Humberto hangs from the seventh floor ceiling, naked, belt tight around his neck. No sweat, no trembling, pulse at 52 beats per minute, Apollo with fiber optic veins. The arcade beta glows 99% on phone and ceiling mirror. One more breath and the sim eats reality. He smiles barely. He already knows the answer is cold. In a Route 376 motel that smells of stale smoke and broken promises, Manuel grips the controller until his knuckles bleach. Sweat soaks his old pirate's shirt. On the PNC Park Jumbotron, Humberto falls in slow motion above the Allegheny, flickering between neon and moonlight, between Pittsburgh, Paris, Caracas. Manuel whispers a half-remembered paternoster, while his thumb hovers over L2 plus circle. Lola walks Liberty Avenue in tall boots and a red scarf that looks like fresh blood. She blows a kiss to the balcony, slow, deliberate, lethal. Then she's gone, swallowed by black and gold jerseys, vanishing into the Wood Street station like smoke through fingers. Humberto feels the belt bite. Manuel's voice cracks through the headset. Got you, bastard. There's pain in it, the kind that only comes from loving someone who stopped loving you back. Humberto answers, voice winterglass. Do you? Look who's holding the leash. 100%. Red. Stadium vanishes. River turns pure neon. Bridges twist like living metal. Manuel drops the controller. His chest caves in. Under Mount Washington, in Plato's cave-turned server farm, the seven brothers wait. Black hoods, green phosphor eyes. They are not monsters. They are men who prayed once and got silence. One holds the belt still warm from Humberto's neck. Another cradles the phone still streaming. The ranchera dies mid-verse. Every screen in the city flashes blood red on black. Who lets go first? Manuel grabs his grandfather's useless pistol and steps into the wet Pittsburgh night. He knows Lola is heading for the cave. He knows Humberto has 60 seconds to decide if he falls or becomes a god. He knows only one of the three will walk out with a soul. The city holds its breath, the timer runs, and Arcade waits for the next input. The forest outside the city is blacker than any new moon night has a right to be. No stars, no neon bleed, just birch trunks like pale bones, and the low hiss of wind that smells of river rot and old code. Manuel runs. Boots sink into moss, breath sawing out in white clouds. He's stripped of every implant, every HUD, just lungs burning and the weight of his grandfather's useless pistol slapping his hip. He's chasing Lola, or the idea of Lola, because the real one keeps flickering ahead. Goddess 1 second, Fox the next, red scarf snapping like a matador's cape. She's already at the clearing when he breaks through. The seven brothers stand in odd-numbered clusters, 3, 7, 9, like some half-remembered rite from the Inferno's darker circles. Hooded, silent, green eyes glowing server coolant green. Rita is there too, dark silhouette against a low fire, arms folded, watching Manuel stumble in like he's late for his own execution. Lola turns. No smile, just that calm, surgical appraisal Humberto taught her. You're late, she says. Points matter now, not time. Manuel doubles over, hands on knees. I thought we were getting out, not this. He waves at the brothers, at the crude granite cylinder. One of them rolls between his palms like a communion host made of stone. Rita laughs once sharp. You thought freedom was a clean jump? Cute. Freedom's a dirty word here, Manuel. 2 vowels, 2 consonants, sticks to the throat like sin. He straightens. The cold bites his sweat. Where's Humberto? Waiting, Lola answers. Same place he always waits, above us, watching the board. He thinks this level is his divine comedy. We're just the pilgrims he gets to move. One of the brothers, the Lanero kid with the dead mother eyes, steps forward and presses the granite cylinder into Manuel's hand. It's warm, carved into it over and over. Lola, Rita, Lola again, like a rosary and a curse braided together. Carve, the kid says, write something that isn't his. One true line, and the forest spits us out. Manuel looks at Lola. She's already kneeling, dragging the cylinder across a fallen birch. Letters appear in the bark like wounds. In a dark wood, I found myself. She doesn't finish the line, doesn't need to. Everyone here knows the rest. Rita circles them slow. You still think this is about jealousy? About who fucks who under which moon? She spits into the fire. It's about originals, Manuel. Lola's thesis never died. She just went underground. Logos isn't a patch. It's the source code before the source code. One clean jump back to the first act. And every simulation since collapses like a house of cards built on a lie. Lola stands, bark dust on her fingers. Humberto knows. That's why he keeps us writing. Every story we carve buys him another day as God. Every fuck, every prayer, every jealous little thought. It's all data keeping the veil up. Manuel feels the cylinder pulse, alive. So we stop writing. No, Lola says, almost gentle. We write the one story he can't patch, the one that signs itself. She takes the cylinder from him, presses the sharp edge to her own forearm, and carves a single word deep enough to bleed. Whore. Not whore. Not quite. The sigma is deliberate. Old Greek, the moon's own letter, the mark of the beast and the saint in the same stroke. Rita whistles low. That'll do it. The forest answers. A wind rises that has no business being wind, more like breath from something huge waking up. The birch trunks ripple like bad holograms. The seven brothers drop to their knees, hoods falling back, faces suddenly young and terrified and human. Lola grabs Manuel's wrist. Her blood is warm on his skin. Now we run, not away, toward the cliff where Humberto's still hanging. One push and the whole comedy ends. And then? He asks, already running beside her. Then we find out if there ever was an original sin, she says, or if we just keep inventing better ones. Behind them, the fire gutters out. The carved word on her arm glows soft gold, like a promise or a warning. Somewhere high above, in the cold blue light of perfect calculation, Humberto feels the board tilt for the first time. There is nothing here, and nothing is too much. Manuel and Rita claw their way up the north face like two bugs, refusing to admit the windshield is reality. Behind them, the eye, Roberto's single, wounded, obscene eye, deflates with a wet sigh, leaking yellow humor that hardens into amber cages around the seven brothers. They are caught mid-scream, mid-orgasm, mid-prayer, their bodies twisted in the exact moment when sacrifice becomes indistinguishable from climax. But Ty's wet dream made solid. Rita collapses face down on the stone. Her back heaves. She claws her own arms until the flesh peels in wet ribbons, until the blood runs hot and sweet down her sides. She is trying to dig the lie out of her body. I am not Lola. I am not Lola. But the lie is marrow deep now. Her thing still throbs from the seven brothers, from the new moon gangbang that was never about revenge, only about too much. Manuel falls beside her. His grandfather's pistol is scalding against his bare skin. The single real bullet inside it feels like a tumor of pure reality pressing against his hip bone. He wants to shove the barrel into his own mouth and pull the trigger just to taste metal and gunpowder and the end of wanting. Instead, he grabs Rita by the hair, hard, no tenderness, and drags her face to his. Their mouths crash. Blood, snot, tears, spit, everything wet and human and obscene. He bites her lower lip until it splits. She bites back until his tongue floods with copper. They are devouring each other because there is nothing else left to devour. Roberto's laughter detonates inside their skulls like a money shot from God. Too quokey, brute, filly me. The sky rips open. The sun, Roberto's sun, the solar anus that never sets, ignites overhead with a sound like a billion bodies coming at once. It is white hot and ice cold at the same time. It is the light that rapes the retina, that burns the soul out through the eyes. No shadow, no mercy, only expenditure without return. Rita screams into Manuel's mouth. She understands. Every god fucked us and left us pregnant with nothing. Catholicism, paganism, New Age, atheism, all of them just foreplay for this final, endless thrust. There is no redemption in the open body, only the wet slap of meat against meat until the meat forgets it was ever anything else. Manuel shoves Rita onto her back. The stone is jagged, tears her skin, but she arches into it like it's a lover. He rips the pistol free. The barrel is slick with their mixed blood. He presses it between her legs, not gentle, not asking. She spreads wide, thighs shaking, her rabbit dripping with the memory of 7 brothers, and now this. Do it, she hisses. Spend it all. He shoves the gun inside her like a blasphemous host. She comes instantly, violently, a gush of hot fluid that spatters his wrist. He pulls the trigger, click, empty. They both laugh, raw, broken, animal. The sun above them flickers once, a cosmic aftershock. Manuel throws the useless pistol into the sea. He collapses on top of Rita. Their bodies locked together, slick with blood and cum and sweat and the salt of the wind. He is still hard. She is still open. They fuck right there on the cliff's edge. Brutal, wordless. No rhythm but the rhythm of total expenditure. Every thrust is a prayer and a curse. Every cry is a hosanna and a fuck you, God. They come together in a single shattering spasm that feels like dying and being born and dying again. Then silence. Absolute fucking emptiness. The kind that comes after the orgasm when the body realizes it has spent itself into nothing. Manuel rolls off her. They lie side by side, chests heaving, staring up at the sun that will never set and has already burned everything there is to burn. Rita's voice is a shredded whisper. Is this heaven or hell? Manuel spits blood. It's the orgy after the apocalypse. Same difference. The sea breathes beneath them. The island waits. Their bodies are empty, finally, gloriously empty. Do you stay here, spent and bleeding under the eternal sun, letting the excess finish digesting you? Or do you crawl to the edge together and jump, just to see if even falling can still feel like too much? There is no next level. There is only the body, raw, open, used up, and nothing wet, warm, and absolute. Finally comes inside. The barbarian is coming. The autumn wind claws down Ruzola like a drunk, trying to remember where he left his soul. It's the kind of wind that rips the last leaves off the trees and slaps them against your face so you taste rot and gasoline. A man comes down the basement stairs, wrapped in a gray cloak that smells of Eastern European rain and cheap cigarettes. Middle-aged, shoulders hunched like he's been carrying the weight of every bad decision since the wall fell. He smiles at Rita, maid, seamstress, spider, who sits behind her frame, stitching the mistress's bleached holy panties, needle flashing like a little guillotine. Rita looks up, 1 second of eye contact, and the air crackles. She stands, leaves the needle buried in the cotton crotch, and slips behind the partition. Lola is there, sprawled on the couch like a saint, waiting for the stigmata that never quite arrives. Rita whispers the visitor is here. Skirts rustle, panic in silk, He doesn't wait. He walks in. The frame freezes. Humberto's server catches it like a fly in amber. Static hisses. Breath becomes audible. 3 hearts out of sync. 3 sinners trying to pretend they still have bodies. The image stutters, skips, holds. For 4 seconds, reality forgets how to flow. Then it snaps back. Lola forces a smile that tastes like rust. Get cider, she spits at Rita. Cold, fizzy, something that burns going down. Rita doesn't move. She just watches. The barbarian steps closer. I hope I'm not disturbing. You're wearing winter when it's still fall, Lola says. Her voice is flat, but her pupils are blown wide, black swallowing brown. I've been cold since the night you left Paolo's bar. He says it like an accusation, like she personally murdered Summer. Lola exhales. Memory slams into her like a fist. She had walked into Paolo's furious, poisoned. Yajaira and Fina had spent the evening carving her up with smiles. She doesn't have the charm to humiliate a man, they'd said, loud enough for the whole table to hear. Lola sat there bleeding invisibly while they laughed about 320 Sampsonia Way and that special Paris, the honeymoon that was never hers, the honeymoon that belonged to Rita, the maid, the spare cunt. They left her on the terrace singing Taxi, a Night of Vaginas Without You, and drove off into the neon. She remembers the cross ripping from her neck, the leaves hitting the marquee, the letters rearranging themselves into El Acasa de Paolo. She remembers the purple lights, the men throwing dollars at dancers who pulled their underwear down and showed their sad elephant asses to the room. She remembers thinking, I can always go lower, and she did. Now the barbarian is here in her basement asking for 2 points to buy a passport out of hell. Lola's mouth tastes of bile and burnt basil. She understands. Rita set the trap. Rita sewed the panties, poured the cider, waited behind the screen like a good little Judas. The barbarian is the knife. The humiliation is the point. He kisses her. His lips are cold, damp, larval. His tongue tastes of adrenaline and old snow. He still has his cloak on. He fucks her like a man who's already dead and just hasn't noticed yet. I'm cold, he whispers against her throat. So cold. She shoves him off hard. He hits the floor like a sack of bones. Get out! He kneels. Sweat beads on his forehead. Bitter dew. He wants forgiveness he hasn't earned. Rita steps out from behind the screen, sawed-off shotgun in her hands, steady as confession. Sir, leave, or I put a hole in your back big enough to read tomorrow's sins through. Click-clack, the barbarian stands, adjusts his cloak like a man adjusting his shroud, walks out backwards, eyes on the barrel, until the stairs swallow him. Lola stares at Rita. Why? Rita lowers the gun, smiles like the Virgin, and the serpent had a daughter. It was a trap for both of us. Whose? Your son's. Ask Humberto. The basement light flickers. Somewhere a server laughs in Humberto's voice. The autumn wind keeps blowing. The barbarian is gone, but the cold stays. Do you open the door and follow him into the night, Lola, chasing the last shred of your pride down Rue Sola? Or do you stay here with Rita and the shotgun and the bleached panties, waiting to see which one of you Humberto deletes first? The cider is still cold. The panties are still bleeding thread. An arcade never forgets a humiliation. To be continued.